It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny to Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Spotty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end. Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome here to X's and Bros on this Tuesday morning, the 12th day of September 2023. So great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio and send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Our Meyer Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, at Facebook, X's Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Find our podcast, listen back to anything you may have missed on demand by visiting Google, Apple, Spotify, and, of course, the iHeartRadio app. You can find us all individually on Twitter. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. Ben, how are we this morning? Happy Tuesday.
I'm disappointed in myself. I
Stay up late last night watching Jets and Bills.
I fell asleep at halftime. That's why I'm disappointed. I missed a good ending.
Great game.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the worst quarterbacking performances to ever win a football game from Zach Wilson. But we will get into that. Mel Tucker has doubled down. He has gone in to release a statement as of yesterday that we will get to, and I'll just read it to you in its entirety, and we can kind of go from there. Kyle Barlow will join us. We'll talk a little Monday Night Football, Team USA, J.J. McCarthy. We'll run the gambit, if you will. Justin Rose, the Michigan State alum and Detroit media member, will join us at 8:35 this morning to discuss this Mel Tucker shenanigans. Then we'll get both the college football and NFL scoreboards for Week 2 of college football and Week 1 of the pro game. It turns out that, an Achilles injury after 4 snaps for the New York Football Jets for Aaron Rodgers. That is what is being reported right now, an Achilles injury. Oh, boy. That's not good. X-rays were negative. Not good at all. What is an Achilles injury? That we don't know. Is it a ruptured Achilles? Can you strain? I mean, I'm sure you can strain your Achilles. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to strain your Achilles. But yeah, there's a lot there. There is a lot there, and here we go. Zach Wilson back in the saddle, baby. You're back. Woo! My goodness, what a thriller. Terrible news, though, for the Jets. Terrible news for the NFL. I mean, that was one of the great stories of this season. And if this is a severe injury, which I don't know how you think that an Achilles is not a severe injury. I mean, this is bad. This is very bad. And if you're the NFL, I mean, this was one of your premier teams and one in the biggest market in the United States. You were looking forward to having the Jets back, and now this. But opportunity comes in strange, very strange places. And it's now Zach Wilson's opportunity. So we shall see what this turns out to be. But not an ideal start at all. At all for the New York Jets. And season could be a season on the brink, basically. Not really anything else you honestly say about it, but this is it. They don't have they put invested all this money into this team, and they've got some serious, serious issues. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
As I mentioned, the Jets fear quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffers an Achilles injury on his fourth snap of the season. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers went down a significant Achilles tendon injury. So, MRI coming up today, according to the head coach Robert Saleh, who painted a pretty grim picture after the 22-16 overtime win over the Buffalo Bills at MetLife Stadium. Josh Allen says that the turnovers are a product of trying to force the ball. An awful, awful game for him. 3 interceptions, a fumble. He was an absolute disaster. They lose 22-16 in overtime on a punt return for a touchdown in the walk-off winner. The Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones agrees to a new 1-year deal. So this is kind of interesting. Why would you sign what is this 1-year contract? Jones should be able to play for the first time on Sunday when the Chiefs visit the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not sure what Jones is, received incentives in the new contract that would allow him to earn more than $19.5 million he was scheduled to make this season under his old contract. So I guess forfeited a game check of about $1.1 million. I mean, that's what happens. Sources say that the Steelers' Cam Hayward could miss several weeks, so that's not ideal for the defensive lineman. Cam was a guy that Chris Wormley was talking about here on the program last week. LeBron James, Steph Curry, and company, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, all thinking about the 2024 Paris Games. Curry has expressed an interest to play for Steve Kerr, his coach, according to ESPN. Several players who participated in the 21 gold medal winning team in Tokyo who didn't play in the World Cup this summer, including Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Draymond Green, also candidates to return. Chris Paul, who's won Olympic gold medals in 2008 and in 2012, is considering another Olympic run. I don't know why you'd keep him. Not really sure. And then Team USA has done some recruiting of Joel Embiid, who holds both U.S. and French citizenship. You don't want Joel. Let him go play for somebody else. Make it competitive. Rockets' Kevin Porter Jr. has been charged with assault and strangulation. This isn't good. 911 police reporting to an assault call at 6:45 in the morning. Arrested Kevin Porter Jr., 23 years of age. Upon arrival, officers were informed that the 26-year-old female sustained a laceration to the right side of her face, was complaining about pain in her neck. A preliminary investigation on the scene determined that a known individual struck her multiple times upon her body and placed his hands around her neck. And the NBA is, well, I don't know how they're going to do this, likely to pass tougher rules on resting stars. The rule is very, very simple. Basically, just fine them their game check. Fine them their game check. If you're not going to play, it's a wrap. If you're not playing, you're not getting paid. And they're going to try this to limit resting of star players for this nationally televised and in-season tournament games. The in-season tournament is stupid. But the competition committee recommended a plan that the league's board of governors is expected to approve today. It would tomorrow, I should say. It would ultimately give the league office authority for greater oversight over discipline for missed games and the ability to fine teams over $1 million for each instance of violating resting rules. We'll step aside. Back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. He is a managing partner at Br0's, soon to be Dorn Mayhew, and they'll be stronger together. And did you know Br0's can help your business with outsourcing your payroll and other business needs? That can help ease tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. Just go to Br0's.com to find out more how they can help your payroll system and make your workplace that much smoother. Go to Br0's.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com, and they can help you with all your payroll needs. Like I mentioned, tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. All your payroll needs can be handled by the team at Br0's. Find out more at Br0's.com.
I'm Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball.
I'm Herman Moore, and football is my game.
So we know a few things about sports.
And the passion of Detroit fans.
That's why we're big fans of Eagle Casino and Sports.
It's the mobile sports book that lets you bet on action all year long.
Right from your mobile device. Eagle Casino and Sports.
Made in Michigan. Made for Michigan.
Download the app and start winning today. Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FreddyThePizzaman@gmail.com.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Golf season is coming to a close, folks. Weather's starting to turn, but it's never too late to get in on a great stay-and-play package from the beautiful Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, offering not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives, located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. Smack dab in the middle of the state, easy to get to no matter what direction you're coming from. Tullymore not only features top-of-the-line golf, but also top-of-the-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us. Share your thoughts. You can text the keyword Sports Radio and send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000, or call us on the Myers Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176. That's 248-951. I did it again, didn't I? It's because I'm trying to multitask over here. 866-838-4843. That's what I'm trying to say. 866-838-4843. That's how you can find us. And the Meyer Supercenter guest line. So 866-838-4843. I'll get it eventually. You know, old habits die hard. Last night, Monday Night Football, we were set for a classic between Aaron Rodgers and the New York Football Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen against Aaron Rodgers. Oh, baby. The battle for New York on September 11th. Man. What a day that was slated to be, or what a night, I should say. And then 4 snaps into the game, Aaron Rodgers injures his Achilles. They would take this thing all the way into overtime where this would happen.
Guy like Stephon Diggs. Sam Martin corrals the snap. It's a short punt. Gibson on the return. Near side. I don't see any flags. Gibson inside the 30. Hits the Jets. And he's going to go! Jets win it! Touchdown! Rookie Xavier Gibson. Game over.
That's a tough dog pile. Not a big dog pile guy myself. Don't like the dog pile. Don't want to be on the bottom of it. Not a fan of that. The crowd was absolutely electric. Xavier Gibson, the Hard Knocks star, getting his opportunity, making the most of it, scoring on special teams. Wow. What a finale to that game right there. Holy jumping, in the words of Mickey Redmond. Now, let's get to the nuts and bolts of this thing. There was a lot of god-awful quarterback play in the NFL this week. A lot of it. And Josh Allen is no exception. Like, he was atrocious last night. 29 of 41. The Bills can't run the football worth a damn. He throws 3 interceptions, only 1 touchdown, fumbled twice, lost one of them. Like, that is ridiculous. Then on the other side, Aaron Rodgers is 0 for 1, got sacked, he leaves. Zach Wilson, 14 of 21 for 140 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, sacked twice. The touchdown, the play, the throw that he made to Garrett Wilson, damn near in the dirt. Garrett Wilson grabs it out of the rubber pellets in order to move the chains, and then goes right back to Garrett Wilson for the touchdown on one of the ugliest ball placements you will ever see. And Garrett Wilson, who is an absolute freak, decided, you know what, I could just jump up and I can deflect this away from the defender and catch it. I can do 2 things at once. That's how good I am. Atrocious quarterback play. Now, luckily, the New York Jets can run the football. Br0's 10 carries, $127 on the ground. Did have a long of 83 yards, so you know what I like to do there. You take the 127, then minus the 83 from it, so that'll give you 9 carries for 44 yards to give you a little bit more accurate picture on how he was carrying the football. At about 4.5 yards a pop, that'll do. The New York Football Jets, the Buffalo Bills, and the New York Giants. Now, we didn't really get a chance to talk about the New York Giants game against the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't assume that Scott would call New York, Scott, and GR. I didn't think that was going to happen because, I mean, what do you, at that point, you're just venting if you call. But the New York Giants, in their game against Dallas legitimately looked like varsity defense going up against JV offense. That's what it looked like. They were so bad in that football game. There are some shocking developments here. Now, the Cowboys look good. And Overreaction Monday, the Giants, feel like I was right about them all offseason, not going to make the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. You want to pay Saquon, that's fine. Let me just get something through everybody's head real quick. If you can't block in this league, you are not going to win football games. If you can't block, you're not going to be able to do a GD thing on offense. And that's just the way it is. Nothing you can do. The Jets can't block. They escaped. The Giants can't block. Hell, even the Lions at times looked a little suspect. You got to be able to block. You have to. So you could spend all the money and all the draft capital in the world on wide receivers and running backs and quarterbacks and tight end, all this stuff. If you can't block, if your front five aren't any good, you are toast. And the New York Giants front five looks awful. They look awful. Now to the Jets, their season is basically on the brink, so you hope that if you were a Jets fan, whatever Aaron Rodgers can afford to, give to Zach Wilson from a coaching standpoint, because with an Achilles injury, I mean, I guess we can assume that he's done for the year. That's not the exact report. Just said it's a significant Achilles injury, whatever the hell that means. We're going to find out more today, obviously. But still, at 6:26 in the morning, after Monday Night Football concluded just before midnight, this is about the best I can come up with here. The Jet season has gone to hell in a handbasket that quick. Now they could try to rally around the guy that got lost his job. They're going to have to. They don't have a choice. They're going into week 2 with a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback, and this is what you want to do. Now, Troy Aikman last night on the broadcast talked about that win could have an asterisk because of the block that sprung the punt return. It didn't spring the punt return, but it was the key block near the 20-yard line-ish. You got a Jets player diving, his leg trips up a Bills. Dude, stop with the asterisk talk. This is the National Football League. The refs are going to miss calls all the time. We are groomed to understand this. They're not perfect at their job. You're not perfect at your job. We watch them not call a false start for 4 consecutive quarters in the opener on national television with the defending Super Bowl champions on the screen and 27 million viewers. The most viewed program in America since the Super Bowl was the Lions against the Chiefs. Think about that for a minute. So if you're going to beat somebody, you might as well do it in front of 27 million, the second largest audience in American television in the calendar year. That's awesome. Quit with the asterisks. Guys sit out games. Guys get hurt. Now every team that did the Bills, does this loss get an asterisk because the Jets didn't have Aaron Rodgers? No, stop it. Everybody. There are no asterisks. You win or you lose. This is a win or lose league. And that's what makes it great. We'll step aside. We'll come back. Mel Tucker has doubled down on his innocence. He released a statement. We'll read it to you next here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive, boys and girls, high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Over to Tracy for breaking news.
We have super good news, Dave. The super sale is back at Meijer Friday and Saturday only. Get the biggest savings on Meijer sliced bacon, fresh Meijer chicken tenderloins, select apples, Sargento cheese, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable, and Brawny paper towels. Get Meijer super sale deals in-store or online while supplies last.
Now that is super.
Shop this Friday and Saturday only during the Meijer Super Sale. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Join Van Andel Institute Purple Community for the Be Brave 5K Walk and Run in Caledonia on October 7th at 8 a.m. You can participate in a day of fun and exercise, all while supporting breast cancer research at Van Andel Institute. Register at vai.org.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Week 1 is officially in the books over at the DraftKings Sportsbook. NFL back in full swing, and so are the great offers with our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the National Football League. They're hooking up new customers with can't-miss offers to celebrate. Place your first $5 NFL wager. Score $200 in bonus bets instantly. DraftKings is hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. Check out the app to see what you get. Don't wait until kickoff to get in on all the hype. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. New customers get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. That's promo code HUGE only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Now, if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. It's been yesterday, I feel like we missed out on so much yesterday as far as getting to the actual events that took place on any field, just because, one, the Lions played on Thursday, so that took up all of Friday's conversation. But then we miss out on Saturday in all the games there because of the Mel Tucker saga that dropped late Saturday night. And I was like, okay, Tuesday's going to be great. We can get back into, we can do the scoreboards and, get some stats and all that good stuff, right? We can talk about the AP Top 25 and, yada, yada, yada. Well, this thing ain't going away. 866-838-4843. I want to get your reaction to what you read from Mel Tucker. Once again, our phone number. You could text us too. Text the keyword sports radio. Send it to 21,000. You could tweet us at XB Mornings. You can call us 866-838-4843. Mel Tucker's response to Brenda Tracy's false allegations as of 9/11/23. Quote, Brenda Tracy's allegations of harassment are completely false. The proceedings initiated by Ms. Tracy are devoid of any semblance of fairness for any matter of this importance, and the university's hearing, scheduled for October 5th and 6th, is so flawed that there is no opportunity for the truth to come out. That is why I share some truth with you now. I helped bring Ms. Tracy to campus in the summer of 2021 because I support her mission of sexual misconduct prevention. The single presentation was her only paid engagement with the university. We developed a mutual friendship that grew into an intimate adult relationship. At this point in my life, my wife and I had been estranged for a long time. Ms. Tracy and I engaged in dozens of calls throughout the fall of 21 and winter of 22, many of which she initiated and which occurred late at night. We both talked about all sorts of intimate, private matters. She told me that I could trust her, and I proceeded to do just that. I was absolutely unaware of the previous negative comments that she had made about now iconic MSU coaches, then President Engler, MSU in general, and even her most recent criticism of Coach Harbaugh that I learned about this investigation. The 1,200 pages of investigation materials that Ms. Tracy released to the media contains a number of important facts that any fair-minded person would want to know in evaluating the situation. Even the investigator hired by the university found that we had a, quote, personal relationship and that we shared deeply personal and private information with each other. Ms. Tracy encouraged our personal relationship by inviting and accepting gifts from me. During the investigation, Ms. Tracy admitted requesting and accepting my gift of expensive athletic shoes, a $200 Venmo payment, and a personal contribution to her nonprofit. Not only did she accept those gifts, but she had to provide me her shoe size and address to receive the shoes and Venmo ID to receive the money. Yes, I did have a late-night intimate conversation with Ms. Tracy in April of 22. Again, as even Ms. Tracy's statements to the investigators confirm, this conversation had nothing to do with the university and was outside of the scope of Title IX or any university policy. By the way, while press reports have called this a Title IX investigation, that's inaccurate. The university admitted there is no Title IX jurisdiction, so the investigation of my private life was relegated to an alleged policy violation. While I'm saddened by Miss Tracy's disclosure of sensitive nature of this call, let me be perfectly clear. It was an entirely mutual, private event between two adults living at opposite ends of the country. She initiated the discussion that night, sent me a provocative picture of the two of us together, suggested what she may look like without clothes, and never once during the 36-minute conversation did she object in any manner, much less hang up the phone. Following the call, it was not until 4 months later, only after Miss Tracy's next paid presentation was postponed, and only after I complained to her that she and her assistant were spreading rumors about my marriage, that she ever told anyone, including her therapist, best friend, or attorney, that she was offended by the call. In fact, she gave me every indication that everything was fine. She sent me a Happy Father's Day text 2 months after the call and repeatedly expressed the desire to return to MSU, telling my assistant that she had a close time out. We got to go to the next page. There we go. And we're back. Relationship with me. Also, contrary to her allegation, I never canceled any presentation. Given a personal change and scheduling challenges as football season approached, we merely postponed it until January 23. She chose to file her complaint instead of proceeding with the training. The investigation has not been fair or unbiased, and I can only conclude that there is an ulterior motive designed to terminate my contract based on some other factor, such as a desire to avoid any Nasser taint or my race or gender. The sham hearing scheduled for October 5th and 6th is ridiculously flawed and is not designed to arrive at the truth. For example, in the Zoom hearing, 1, neither Ms. Tracy nor any of her witnesses will be required to testify under oath or penalty of perjury. 2, we cannot present or offer any substantive evidence of innocence. And 3, there is no opening statement, closing argument, or any opportunity to explain our case. This hearing process was obviously designed for student infractions, not to address personal, private acts between adults in which disclosure of intimate details impacts one's reputation and career. I have no intention of allowing Miss Tracy's character assassination to go unaddressed. Miss Tracy's attorney told us from the very beginning that I should not lose my job over her allegations, but that it would take a lot of money to make it go away. Her twisting of our personal relationship months after it concluded is designed to revive her career and destroy my life. Precipitated by her greed, one of the most absurd allegations by Miss Tracy is that if our relationship and associated facts went public, only she would be harmed, not me. As the world can see, quite the opposite is true. I have been ripped from the team that I love without any meaningful opportunity to tell my side of the story other than this press release. I am incredibly proud of the outstanding group of men on the team, and my heart aches to be sidelined. I ask everyone to consider carefully the undisputed facts outlined and reserve judgment until the full truth comes out. What a statement. Wow. Ryan is on the line. Let's talk about Mel. 866-838-4843. Good morning, Ryan.
What other buzzwords can I add?
Harbaugh.
Big Ten. Conference realignment. I mean, that's what this all screams. Like, a lot of buzzwords. to just say these facts were undisputed. We knew all the facts. The only thing that's in question is if there was consent or not on your one phone call. That's really what it's all coming down to, which is a gray area 100% of the time when you get into cases like this.
What they're going to need is they're going to need her phone records, and they're going to have to find something that is provocative that she sent to Mel Tucker. And if they can find that, he's got himself a case. We're back. Yesterday, I thought we were KO'd. But now Mel Tucker's picking himself up off the mat, grabbing the ropes in the corner, and said, not so fast, my friends. Let's take a gander at this. If they can find something in Brenda Tracy's phone that is provocative, explicit, whatever the case may be, whether it's a photograph of herself, the two of them together. She said something that, you wouldn't say in front of your children. If something like that goes down, then he's got a case, and he's right back in the ballgame.
And that's true, but, I mean, this all comes down to, for Michigan State, violating some morality cause, and this statement pretty much just says, like, hey, I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to go away easy. You get rid of me, you're going to hear from my lawyer a lot more.
Does that, how does that, I mean, if you're Mel Tucker today, if you're shoe on the other foot and you're Mel Tucker, you got to fight this thing tooth and nail because it's the only way to save your career / reputation / massive payday. I don't know where you'd get hired or what you would do next. So that's if you're Mel Tucker. If you are a Michigan State fan.
You say that, you don't know where he's going to go, but we see, all right, Hugh Freeze is back at Auburn. Rich Rod has another job. Like,
Petrino.
Still get that.
Patino.
Yeah, like these guys, they go away for 3 years. I mean, tell me the difference between Rich Rod and Mel Tucker as a head coach.
Not a lot, Jim. Not a lot. A lot of hype.
Right.
A lot of style, not a lot of substance.
But Rich Rod's still coaching. Granted, he's at Jacksonville State. But that's still a paycheck from a college football team. It's just, not $9 million a year.
Ugh. As a Michigan State fan, when you see that statement, how do you feel?
That this is going to be a long, messy process for years.
That's the most difficult thing, is because he is going to fight tooth and nail. He is going to try to save his career and himself. He can't go away quietly. He just can't. And if you are Michigan State today, I asked myself this question last night. Like, the Board of Regents, ADs, like everybody in the room there in East Lansing has got to be thinking to themselves, dear God, what have I done? What did we do? How could this have happened? And we'll talk a lot more. Go ahead.
And they can say that, but it just really comes down to, Mel Tucker, you got yourself in this situation. I understand you don't want to lose your money, but, and I believe Pat Caputo wrote something, I can't believe Tucker resigned. I can believe it because he wants his money, but at some point people have to look in the mirror and just be like, man, I really screwed this up.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm sure that he will say that multiple times, but it will help him swallow that if he knows that his bank account is still okay, or at least if he's got a chance to recoup some of these funds, because it sounds like maybe not everybody in East Lansing was very high on Mel Tucker in the direction that things were going. It sounds like from the outside that there may have been some underlying feelings there in East Lansing of we just need a reason. Just give us a reason, and we're gonna stop this.
That, and after everything with Larry Nassar, everything MSU fans show, we just don't have the tolerance or the patience to deal with things like this anymore. Like, the benefit of the doubt kind of goes out the window as a fan, because after all of those years having to hear all of those excruciating details, fans are just like, you know what? We don't want to deal with this type of stuff anymore. Please go away.
And so I have to ask this then. And this is not a popular question. I don't want you, I got to ask it though. If it is consensual, like shoe on the other foot type of deal here for a second. if it is consensual and they find that she sent something, whatever it was, or multiple things on multiple occasions or on one occasion that was, like I said, provocative, risque, whatever. And it just, it does prove that there was a mutual interest in one another. Think about it from this perspective.
I don't think that was in doubt ever from the USA Today article. I just think that phone call was the tipping point of they were teetering of a flirtatious relationship, and it went a little too far. And then it sounded like when that phone call happened, she was like, oh, this got real. No thanks. See you later.
Yeah, and if they could, my thing is like, if you find something prior to that phone call, then what? Because I'm just thinking about it like, okay, so we're all here in 2023 where everything, I mean, look, we just went through Bobby Petrino and Rick Pitino, and you compared Rich Rodriguez to Mel Tucker, and someone said, quote, did I just hear Pitino is a lot of hype with 2 to 3 titles? Huh? No, that's not what you heard. That's not what you heard. You heard Mel Tucker in comparison to Rich Rodriguez. That's what then we went through a list of coaches that have some blemishes, which is where Pitino's name came up. So though, no, that's not what you heard. But that's okay, because this is how these things happen. If this is your son who is 35, 40, 45 years of age, career on the line, don't you want to know a little bit more? If this is you, career on the line. Because
I think we know everything, and honestly, like the truth is somewhere in the middle between what these two are saying, because they have, like, when the facts have all been laid out, like Tucker has said, like, yep, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. So like the relationship was there. It's just more of the gray area of that one phone call. And for MSU, it's more of, okay, yes, can we get out of this contract? Because there is something where did he cut off business with her after this phone call went awry?
And that's
so really, that's the two things that are really, I think MSU will just come out and say, hey, this affected business of someone of, that comes in and speaks to kids about sexual assault. This has been a problem on our campus. That's something we look to improve. His doings cost us a business relationship with that nonprofit.
Have they reached out to you, Ryan, to discuss this? Because that was pretty good right there.
No, but someone needs to be on PR for MSU, because that's something we didn't talk about yesterday, and MSU kind of backtracked themselves of like, hey, by the way, this is what we knew and didn't know and could know throughout all of this.
And even that's
what happens when you only take 3 questions at a press conference.
Yeah, and even that's being disputed. We'll be back in hour number 2 next here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Matt Golden. Now, he's the CEO and GM at the Tullymore Golf Resort. They're in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids. And fall golf is here, and they have some huge deals you can take advantage of on stay-and-play packages, tee times, and more. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymoregolf.com. Also, if you want to book a Christmas party for the holidays, you want to squeeze in a business meeting with some golf and great food and beverages, Matt Golden and his team can take care of you right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're also booking big groups who want stay-and-play packages, or maybe you just want to look ahead to the perfect weekend in 2024. Remember, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. Book your stay-and-play package or get more info now at tullymoregolf.com.
Hey, sports fans, here's a hanging curveball that you can knock out of the ballpark. This is Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball, inviting you to step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sports book where you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today. Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
What are you looking for in a career? What are you looking for in your pursuit of happiness and satisfaction? Let's answer those questions by answering this one. What are you? If you're selfless, courageous, dedicated, disciplined, and humble, your happiness and satisfaction may be in a new career in law enforcement. Visit MichiganPoliceChiefs.org today or simply walk into your local police department and start the conversation. You may find the answer to all of your questions.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FreddyThePizzaman@gmail.com.
Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. Hour number 2, X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Ryan Elke, Ben Glaze, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio, send that to 21,000, sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. And maybe the biggest news out of Monday Night Football last night, Aaron Rodgers down with an Achilles injury. But here's the deal. The Packers are affected by this injury too, because Aaron Rodgers needs to play 70% of the snaps to get that first rounder because it's conditional. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. That's a little different. It's a little different. I also heard Mike Lombardi with some positive things to say about the Lions, which I thought was interesting since he was so openly against Chris Spielman, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, openly against the quote-unquote culture change and nobody that knows anything about football in the front office. That seems to have taken a turn, so that's good. But I guess it's positive to be able to develop and change your opinion as you gather more information about the topic. So that's pretty good. Meyer Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on both BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. We had a couple of text messages here. Yes, because Pitino as a coach, he wins titles, and if won titles at Michigan, he would be loved. Those are facts. That's not fact. That's an opinion. What cost Rick Pitino his job? What happened in the restaurant? So that's not a fact. That's an opinion. A wrong opinion, but an opinion regardless. What a way to wake up. 0 credit to a player who won the game. More credit to the quarterback, who most know is washed up and basically quit on his last team. But here we praise players in brutal losses. LOL. I don't know where you're at and why they do that. Who praises a player in a brutal loss? Who's praising Aaron Rodgers? If you thought Zach Wilson was good last night, we're watching 2 different games. On the 2 passes to Garrett Wilson that set up the touchdown to tie the football game. Or not to tie the football game, but you get what I'm saying. The 2 passes. One was damn near in the dirt, and the other one was directly at a Buffalo Bills player. Should have been picked, but Garrett Wilson is a dog. That's it. There's no refuting that. Those are undeniable facts supported by video evidence. Those are actual facts. Not opinion, but fact. That throw to the end zone, if you threw that at Darius Slay, that's getting intercepted. I'm sorry. That's a god-awful throw. Diggs is picking that off. Like, that was directly at, that wasn't even back shoulder. That was just like, here, right at you guys. Garrett Wilson reached across the defender with his right hand, deflected the football back to himself to catch it. A simply sensational catch. That's all that was. 2 sensational catches, because he had to dig that other one out of the turf, too. that terrible turf at MetLife. So there we go. Lombardi has 3 Super Bowl rings. We are going to dog him like we dog fans, quote, for knowing nothing. No. He's just changing his tune. Remember when he was talking about how the Lions didn't know what they were doing and Spielman didn't know anything about football and these people don't know what's going on? It's interesting. I'm just pointing out that it's a fact. He did say all those things. Boy, we're bent out of shape this morning. What's Michigan got to do with Rick Pitino, by the way? That's just like, also, and Ryan, you could text this to me. You could call if you wanted to. Open lines. What is Mel Tucker bringing Jim Harbaugh into a statement for? Does he think Uncle Jim's going to save him? Like, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? Like, what's the purpose of talking about Jim Harbaugh in your statement? That makes no sense whatsoever. You're not deflecting anything. Like, we're already here. We got one more game to go on the ride. Great one-on-one interview with Uncle Jim and Brad Galley. Enjoyed listening to that. Him talking about, Saturday morning working the chain gang for his son's football game. I thought that was great. He had the down marker out on the sidelines. That's cool. And then he cut the grass before the first half and went to McDonald's for lunch and then came back and cut the backyard after the second half. Just doing some dad stuff. Good for him. Ryan says, buzzwords, corporate synergy. I'm surprised he didn't bring Trump into a statement. That comes from Ryan. Well, that would have been a buzzword, huh? If he would have implored the help of Donald J. Trump. Oh, man. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Huge news, folks. We are 2 weeks away from the Ryder Cup in Rome, Italy. That'll be exciting. The Fortinet Championship will be taking place this weekend at Silverado Resort and Spa. Still don't understand the calendar. It doesn't make any sense. Like, after the Tour Championship, season's got to be over. What are we doing here? What's going on? The New York Jets fear that their future Hall of Fame quarterback and new acquisition, Aaron Rodgers, suffered what is said to be a significant Achilles injury. MRI at some point today, more than likely at 9:01 a.m. Josh Allen said turnovers are a product of trying to force the ball. Josh Allen was atrocious last night. If he plays even mediocre, that game isn't even in question. But he throws 3 picks, fumbles twice, recovered one of them, lost the other. He was an absolute disaster last night. Chris Jones agreed to a new 1-year contract. I guess that $1.1 million game check. You start taking that out of your account. That's going to hurt. Not good at all. Jones received incentives in his new contract that would allow him to earn more than $19.5 million. He was scheduled to make this season under his old contract, so he could make even more than 19.5. For the second year in a row, the Pittsburgh Steelers could be without one of their best defensive captains for an extended period of time. Steelers, who are 0-1, could be without defensive lineman Cam Hayward for several weeks as the 6-time Pro Bowl selection suffered a groin injury in the first half of the season opener against the San Francisco 49ers, a 49ers team that looked absolutely dominant. Shout out to Brock Purdy doing the damn thing. He was absolutely electric. Thank God the 49ers didn't waste a pick on Zach Wilson at number 2, and they got a real quarterback with the last pick in the draft. Oh, my God. Because they already wasted one on Trey Lance. We all know how that worked out. LeBron James, Steph Curry and company, Anthony Davis, all expressing interest in Team USA for the 2024 Paris Games. That's very interesting. I mean, they saw it, the JV squad just did at the FIBA World Cup, so might as well get the varsity team out for the Olympics, I suppose. Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr. was arrested and charged with assault and strangulation after an incident at a New York hotel Monday morning at 6:45. That's a rough way to start your day. Sources say the NBA is likely to pass tougher rules on resting stars. It would ultimately give the league office authority for greater oversight over discipline for missed games and the ability to fine teams over $1 million for each instance of violating resting rules. I'm not sure how they're going to do this, but I would assume they just have some sort of basis of a timetable for an injury. And then if a team lies if a team lies on their injury report, they should have to forfeit wins and pay like $20 million a game. Then all of a sudden nobody, then you got them straight. That's a good way to do it. Olsen clubbed his 49th and 50th home runs, one shy of the Atlanta Braves Jones mark, so good for him. Hall of Famers Hank Aaron, Eddie Matthews were among those sluggers left behind. Matt Olson, who is just whacking the hell out of the ball. Good for him. That's great. And Julio Rodriguez joined the 30-30 club, only the fourth age 22 or younger to do so. We'll step aside, back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. He is a managing partner at Br0's, soon to be Dorn Mayhew, and they'll be stronger together. And did you know Br0 can help your business with outsourcing your payroll and other business needs? That can help ease tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. Just go to Br0.com to find out more how they can help your payroll system and make your workplace that much smoother. Go to Br0.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com, and they can help you with all your payroll needs. Like I mentioned, tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. All your payroll needs can be handled by the team at Br0. Find out more at Br0.com. Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Fall is almost here, folks. Ryder Cup's almost here. Weather is changing. Not too late to book your stay and play at the beautiful Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, offering not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives, located only 7 minutes away from each other, with a free shuttle bus to take you from point A to point B. You can stay right there on the grounds at Tullymore. Wonderful accommodations to play those two beautiful golf courses. Very contrasting styles for the two as well. You'll definitely enjoy it. So visit TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com. Or call my friend Matt Golden at 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. We welcome you back here to X's and Bros. It was a wonderful weekend of football and college football in general. So let's get you caught up on what took place here in week number 2 of the college football season. Going to take you back in time with some theme music as well. The second-ranked Michigan Wolverines, according to the AP poll, trounced UNLV 35-7. J.J. McCarthy was absolutely dynamite in the game. Roman Wilson, 2 more touchdown catches in the ballgame. That gives him 5 on the year. Ohio State's offensive coordinator heard me talking about Kyle McCord, and they decided, you know what, throw the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. 35-7 was the final score for the 5th-ranked Buckeyes. 7 catches, 160, and 2 scores for Marvin Harrison Jr. Because if you can't get the ball to that guy, you don't belong playing quarterback. Number 10, Notre Dame beat NC State 45-24. NC State's brand new video boards were struck by lightning and buzzed out. That's not good. 45-24 your final. Sam Hartman had 4 touchdowns passing. Number 1, Georgia smoked Ball State 45-3. Yeah, it's exactly what you'd expect. Number 11, Texas beat number 3, Alabama 34-24. Where will Texas fall in the AB Top 25? Find out tomorrow. Number 4, Florida State topped Southern Miss 66-13. That's kind of what we expected. Jordan Travis there with 175 yards and 2 touchdowns passing. So good for him. USC, another dominant performance. This time, at least, it was over a conference opponent. It was 56-10 over Stanford. 6th-ranked Trojans rolling right along. Caleb Williams, 281 through the air and 3 touchdowns. Number 7, Penn State pounded Delaware 63-7. Exactly what you'd expect. Nothing real strange there. Number 8, Washington, 43-10 winners over Tulsa. Michael Penix Jr., 409 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. They get Michigan State this week. Wow. Peacock game. Wow. Can Michigan State make chicken salad? We'll find out. Number 9, Tennessee, 30-13 winners over Austin Peay. Number 12, Utah beat Baylor 20-13. Number 13, Oregon, they're 2-0. They beat Texas Tech 38-30, outscoring the Red Raiders 20-3 in the 4th and final frame. LSU beat Grambling 72-10. Wow. 72-10. Number 15, Kansas State beat Troy 42-13. Oregon State, ranked number 16 in the country, won 55-7 over UC Davis. Number 17, North Carolina topped App State 40-34, but it did take them overtime, sweaty palms time there for Drake May and the Tar Heels. Number 18, Oklahoma, 28-11 winners over SMU. Wisconsin fell on the road 31-22 to Washington State. That is a bad loss there for Luke Fickell. Number 20, Ole Miss beat number 24, Tulane. We assume that would happen 37-20. Duke beat Lafayette 42-7. Number 22, Colorado, Deion Sanders, prime time. Now give me my theme music. 36-14 over Nebraska. Miami upset number 23, Texas A&M at the U, 48-33. And number 25, Clemson beat Charleston Southern 66-17. That's an absolute blowout. Poor kids. They didn't sign up for that. Why would you even put them out there like that? Over in the Mid-American Conference, it was Toledo scoring 50 points, a school record in the first half. They beat Texas Southern 71-3. We already mentioned Georgia pounding Ball State. Central Michigan beat New Hampshire 45-42. Bowling Green topped East Illinois 38-15. Syracuse over Western Michigan 48-7. Miami, Ohio over UMass 41-28. Southern Illinois beat Northern Illinois in DeKalb 14-11. That's a terrible loss for the Huskies. Arkansas slapped Kent State 28-6. Ohio beat FAU 17-10 at FAU. Good win there for the Bobbies. Akron beats Morgan State 24-21. Fordham topped Buffalo 40-37. Bad loss for Buffalo. And Minnesota smoked Eastern Michigan 25-17. 28-6. Now over to the Big Ten, where we already mentioned Ohio State and Michigan. Indiana beat Indiana State 41-7. Larry Bird no longer there, so that's what happens. I guess if the Birdman was there, maybe it'd be a little bit different of an outcome. You had Kansas beating Illinois 34-23. Michigan, Ohio State, as I mentioned, we covered. Michigan State beat Richmond, but that wasn't even the story. We haven't even gotten to the score of that game or anything that happened in that game because everything has been about Mel Tucker. Noah Kim and the offense moving the football pretty well, though. 292 and 3 touchdowns through the air. Mr. Carter, 19 carries, 111 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. Good win for the Spartans. They're 2-0. We'll see what happens this week. Mentioned Penn State and Wisconsin already, and Nebraska. Purdue beat Virginia Tech 24-17. That's a nice win for the Big Ten. Iowa beats Iowa State 20-13. They remain unbeaten. Winners of the Cy-Hawk Trophy. Some very interesting comments from Cade McNamara after that ball game. Cade, here's the best advice I can give you. As someone who stuck up for you and wished you well, don't talk about your past. Keep, be where your feet are and talk about you and your program moving forward. And leave everything in Ann Arbor exactly where it's at in Ann Arbor and in the past. You're no longer the quarterback there. You don't have to talk about the defense there. The defense that really was the only reason that you were in any football games. Don't make me get nasty, Cade. I don't want to do that. So I'd probably just refrain from saying anything. A lot of Michigan fans stuck up for you, including myself. Don't appreciate the commentary there, Chief. Northwestern tops UTEP 38-7. Maryland 38-20 winners over Charlotte. And Rutgers 36-7 over Temple. And that's a look at your college football scoreboard there for week number 2. I, for whatever reason, the Cade McNamara stuff really irked me. Really did. And I don't know, nobody here is talking about you any longer. Nobody. Nobody's doing it. You left, you went to Iowa. That's fine. If you want to do that, here are the comments left by Cade McNamara after the Cy-Hawk series game.
Scoring points is I'm just I guess it's normal around here, but I'm just not used to a defense scoring points. That's and for them that's normal, and I think that's awesome.
In 2022, Michigan's home opener, DJ Turner picked up a fumble near the 45-yard line and returned it all the way to the end zone. Michael Barrett in 2022 had a pick 6. DJ Turner, outside of the fumble recovery in 2022, in 2021, took an interception to the house. Donovan Jeter scooped and scored in 2020. Now, I don't know at what point you find it acceptable to throw some light shade, but I would probably just chill out if I were you. That's, I think, what I would do. You were 12 of 22 for 123 yards and an interception. And you have the audacity to talk about a pick 6, the only reason you won the football game. Because you sure as hell didn't produce anything on offense. At least Rocco Becht from Iowa State threw a touchdown pass, and he actually completed more passes than you attempted. Your team ran the ball more times than you passed, and they almost outgained you on the ground. But sure, go ahead and talk about how defense scored a touchdown. Stop. Stop it. Because the guy that replaced you is winning football games throwing the football. Something you didn't do at Michigan. I don't want to be nasty. Just leave it alone, Cade. We wished you well. Go on your merry way. Kyle Barlow, the coach, joins us next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com. At MHSAA on Twitter and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archived boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Over to Tracy for breaking news.
We have super good news, Dave. The super sale is back at Meijer Friday and Saturday only. Get the biggest savings on Meijer sliced bacon, fresh Meijer chicken tenderloins, select apples, Sargento cheese, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable, and Br0's paper towels. Get Meijer super sale deals in-store or online while supplies last.
Now that is super.
Shop this Friday and Saturday only during the Meijer Super Sale. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. A reminder, as always, the NFL is here. Week 2 is on the horizon, and the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the National Football League, is hooking up new customers with can't-miss offers to celebrate. Place your first $5 NFL wager and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. DraftKings hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. Check out the app to see what you get. Don't forget, and don't wait until kickoff. Get in on all the hype with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Wow, why am I stumbling over my words? This is a terrible read. I got through Mel Tucker's statement easier than this. Check it out right now. Use the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE. New customers get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Promo code HUGE only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. If you or somebody who has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions will apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Welcome back, X's and Bros. Ryan Elke, Ben Glaze, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Join us now, a Concordia alum, did his GA years under John Beilein at the University of Michigan and is now patrolling the sidelines at Ohio University. Our good buddy, the coach, Kyle Barlow. Find him on Twitter at Kyle Barlow4. Coach Barlow, my friend, how are you this Tuesday morning?
Man, what a busy day in sports radio for you guys, man. A couple busy days, especially in that area. And let's provide some levity, man. Not to the situation, but let's give the people more than just the Michigan State news of the world, man. And let's have at it,
All right, let's get into this JV roster. Now, all the varsity guys are like picking up the phone all of a sudden. They're like, well, I guess, here we go again, right? It's like that meme from Grand Theft Auto. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, they're going to join USA Basketball for the 2024 Paris Games. Steph Curry is also expressing his interest in the team, along with Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Draymond Green, Chris Paul talking about it, Kevin Durant would be a candidate as well. It's almost like the old guys like, all right, give us the ball. Like, you guys are done here. Get off the floor.
What do we get, an AARP discount on the plane ride over to France? Like, what do we do? You said Chris Paul, LeBron James. Like, what are we talking about here?
I don't need Chris Paul, but the rest of them we need. Yeah, the rest of them we absolutely need.
I didn't know we're playing in the Senior Open. You know what I mean? What are we talking about now? LeBron James, Kevin Durant, obvious additions to this team if they want to play, right? You're always welcome to Team USA Basketball. You've won multiple golds. But let's talk about the people saying this was a JV roster sent over. I think this was a really, really, really good team that they sent over. And I'll go to bat. I love the way it's constructed. I think the style of play overseas, like in the games they lost, they got absolutely hammered to the tune of something like 80 to 15 to something in second chance points in their losses, right? So they're just getting hammered on the boards. You look at Lithuania, even before that in the friendly phases against Germany the first time, just getting out rebounded. So that's a major area of concern. And so let's talk about who's supposed to be your main rebounder on your team, Bellino, traditionally.
Traditionally, your center and your power forward.
Exactly, right? So if you look at today's NBA game, we have gone away from, like, the prototypical NBA center is pick and lob, floor spacing, pick and pop, can pass, can defend the rim, right? Not necessarily a rebounder. We had the defensive player of the year on our team for Team USA on the so-called JV team, and Jaren Jackson Jr., who Michigan State fans are all familiar with. And he's still not a great rebounder for his position. If you look at it, it's, I think between 6 and 8 rebounds a game. When you look at Ben Wallace, he wasn't a prototypical NBA center where you throw it into him, but my man would get rebounds and blocks, right? And so this game has kind of shifted in the NBA. But now you look overseas, it looks like the prototypical center is kind of what it's always been, or was 20 years ago, or it's still in college. You got your Jokic's, you got your Valanciunas', you got your Tice's, right? Just big bruiser guys who can rebound, score with their back to the basket against a mismatch. And if you look at these games, a lot of the times it's not even Jaren Jackson Jr. down there because USA implemented switching scheme and ball screens because of the foreign game is so good at ball movement, continuity, and ball screens, so they would switch them to give them less action out of it. So he would contest a guard's step-back three, and play good defense, and then now they're getting rebounds over Jalen Brunson. You know, they're getting rebounds over Tyrese Halliburton. They're getting rebounds over Anthony Edwards, right? So I think that's the glaring weakness to the USA. And, of course, their defense in general. You look at some of these scores, you have some of the best athletes and by far the deepest team in the tournament. And these scores are all in the hundreds, man. Like, get a bleep and stop. What are we talking about here? This is supposed to be a good defensive team. You know, when you look at, you got Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Brunson, you know, Anthony Edwards, who when he's on the ball, he can start like having dudes dribble down their legs a little bit once he picks up full pressure. So you just wonder where that where that defense faltered, I guess, in the international game, or was it because they're trying to play high possession? So a lot of questions, but I'll give you this answer. If you think the United States is getting out rebounded with Kevin Durant and LeBron James on the floor, I got something for you, because that solves a lot of problems right there.
Well, and here's the thing about Jaren Jackson Jr., right? 6'11", good frame, 242. And I'm glad that you brought up the point about the European big man, because our obsession, you know, Drake has a line, every rapper wants to be an athlete and every athlete wants to be a rapper. Well, in our game of basketball, everybody wants to be a guard. I don't know why that is. Everybody wants to. It's maybe we're products of the And One mixtape, and everybody wanted to put the ball in their shirt and hit it around, or dribble and hit the floor, and then you'll roll over. So everybody wanted to do it. I get where it comes from. These kids are all a little bit younger than you and I to maybe even remember. Skip to My Lou, aka Rafer Alston, or White Chocolate. But Jaren Jackson Jr. shoots 35.5% from three. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's awesome. But why are we so obsessed with big men being able to, quote, stretch the floor? Like, why can't somebody stand on the block, take a post-entry pass, and go to work? Like, we don't have that anymore.
You mean like Jokic? Like, there's a reason why he's MVP of the league. This league was not built to stop him. If he plays in the 90s to 2000s, when you're playing against Shaq, you're playing against Dwight Howard, you're playing against Yao Ming. I know I'm leaving out a bunch. Patrick Ewing. Like, you're playing against these dudes. Do you think Jokic is Jokic? Like, maybe. Like, I don't want to take his flowers. He's the MVP of the league. But maybe not, though. I mean, you're going against dudes who are undersized, who aren't built to protect the block against post defense. Like, this league, the NBA is not built that way. So when you get a team full of Americans going and playing the international basketball, and you say, oh, what do we need from our center position? We need a defensive guy. Well, let's get Defensive Player of the Year. Easy. Done. Stamp of approval, Grant Hill. Let's go. But that's not the way it works, is it? I mean, and I'm done. I'm done with people thinking we can send not our best players over to,
Amen.
International competition and expect to win. Like, that team was an underdog as far as I can say. And people are going to say, oh, Americans should never be an underdog. We can send blah, blah. We could send our third team over there. Get Caden J. Ivey over there. Well, like,
this ain't 1984 anymore, folks. Everybody plays basketball. Everybody's good.
Okay, to our point, I think we agree on this. And I like it better when we disagree, but I think we agree on this.
We'll pick a topic to be wrong on, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
Bing bong.
First team all NBA. I can barely get it out. I'm like you making a read right now at the beginning of the show. I'm just
Bing bong.
Shots fired.
My feelings.
First team all NBA, which is a very good measuring stick of the best teams in the NBA. Hey, buddy. And you look at it, who was one American in first team all NBA this year and 4 international players, right? You got Doncic, you got Embiid, you got Jokic, and then I'm blanking on the last one, but I know for sure it's international.
No, you've got wait a minute. The 2022-23 All NBA team. First team was Giannis, Luka, Embiid, SGA, Canadian. Jason Tatum was your only guy.
That's what I'm saying. So now you look at it. So why are we expecting our USA to go over and beat the world? Now I know all those guys didn't play in the World Cup, but 2 of them did at least, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, what are we talking about? This is no longer do we just have the best players in the NBA, who are the best players in the world, by the way, whoever that who was it, the wrestler?
No, it was a track guy. He was like, what do you call it? World Championship.
Yeah. What a stupid. Okay, never mind. I mean, we're not even going to go there. But
I mean, we could go there. We could absolutely go there, because I haven't even really touched on it, because it's like, dude, you run track.
Good. Let's go there.
Yeah, I mean, the guy runs track, so I get it. Like, it's a best in the world type of deal. Greg Popovich agrees with him. He doesn't like world championships. I've never been a fan of calling it a world championship just for, like, the semantics, because we don't play anybody outside of our own country. Like, it's not like we have, like, hey,
Yes, we do. You had to go through Jokic. He's not from the
yeah,
US.
yeah, but
it's a world championship.
Right. I understand that part, and I agree with you there. But it's not like, and here's Adam Silver. Here is your in-season tournament that you want so bad, where you just want to copy soccer and you're foaming at the mouth to change the regular season. Here's your tournament. There are other leagues throughout the world that play. So why not take your top 4 teams and go play the top 4 teams from Spain, France, Germany, Italy, England? Like, do it Premier League style, and then you can have your Champions League of basketball. There's your tournament, right? Just don't do it in the season. Because
can't we do it?
Because they're dumb. I don't know why. Like, all they want to do is be soccer, and because soccer has something so unique that everybody wants it.
You know why that argument is flawed as well, in my opinion? That is not a world championship as well. Here's why. Because in basketball overseas, they follow that soccer model. They'll play their international cup or their Champions League, and then they have their A-League pro team, blah, blah, blah. Guess who's on those teams, Bellino? If you're playing France, guess who is on Victor Wembanyama's team this year? A guy that we all know, Devontae Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So how in any line of thinking is that a world championship? You know what I want for my world championship? No offense to Devontae Jones. I think he's a great player. Led us to the NCAA tournament for
nice kid.
Beating Ohio State on the road.
Nice
but,
man.
like, you know who I want? I want to go through Giannis. Because you know who Giannis is? One of the best players on the planet. That's how I know I won a world championship, in my opinion.
You know how good Giannis is?
Over and playing 4 Frenchmen and 4 Americans who couldn't make the G League or NBA. No offense to those Americans. They make good money over there.
Bing bong. Look, hey, folks, don't hate it because you ain't it, right? I mean, this guy's just out here speaking the gospel at this point, because I completely agree. You know, what are you going to do? You're going to play 4 Frenchmen and Devontae Jones, and the 4 Frenchmen are smoking at halftime? Like, you're absolutely right. I saw Anthony Wright bring up, what's the highest ranked international player, and where does he rank in the NBA? And it's like, G League. You know, now that Wemby's gone, like, this is where, like, we're unique. We'll never have what soccer has, but we have the best leagues in the world. Hockey, American football, we're the only ones that play it, really. The Italian league, the German league, that's not, come on. I watched that Italian league football game at the University of Toledo, and I want to rip my hair out. They ran the same play. They ran 3 plays all game. Like, come on. That's not even football. All right, so you have American football, baseball, the National Hockey League, and the National Basketball Association. We are the kings of capitalism. Everybody comes here.
The only one you don't is soccer.
Exactly.
The only one you don't is soccer.
And
you know what? America's okay with that. And I know there's a soccer faction, and I hope they call in, because it'll get your phone boards lighting up, I'm sure. I know there's a soccer faction in America, but guess what? We do not have the best league, and guess what? Nobody cares. For a majority of this country does not care, because at 1 p.m. on Fox and CBS on Sundays, we all know what we're doing.
Oh, damn right. I don't know what you guys are doing on Fox and CBS, because this Sunday at 1 p.m., I'm going to be inside Ford Field with the Super Bowl champion Detroit Lions is where I'm going to be, Coach Barlow. All right, I wanted to ask you, too, about Cade McNamara made some comments about he's unaware of what it's like to have a defense score for him. I thought that was interesting, because he passed for a total of 123 yards and threw an interception, and they won by 7 points, 20-13 over Iowa State. So if I were Cade, I wouldn't say anything about anything, and I would just go about my business and try to forget the fact that J.J. McCarthy came in that game against Georgia and slang it all over the field when all he could do was manage a game, but that's neither here nor there. I have suddenly turned against Cade McNamara. Speaking of J.J. McCarthy, how good is that guy?
Man, you know what? He's looked sharp, and I know people are going to say the competition, this and this and that, but haven't we been in this same mode before, where even last year, like, neither of them really lit the world on fire against similar competition, but we've all seen Michigan football games, whether it's breaking a new QB or going against a team. You know, okay, for example, look at Ohio State and Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. Why don't we just start there? They played Indiana. Indiana is by far the worst team in the Big Ten. I mean, you could argue it, but they are. So it's like, they didn't look very good. Kyle McCord, like, you got a lot of people down here in Buckeye land very upset with this whole quarterback situation. So And they're like, well, J.J. McCarthy didn't play anybody. If Michigan walks into Indiana tomorrow, I think J.J. McCarthy looks exactly the same. So there, I think we're in a good spot. You know, the best thing about Michigan is, you know, compared to Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, what everyone said, we're not breaking in a new quarterback. Because if you look at the Alabama quarterback against Texas, my man is good. You know, I'm sure he's a 5-star, and there's a reason he was. But he also threw to the other team a little too much. So it's like, you know, you got to go through that stuff. JJ had to go through that stuff. I think we're in a good position, especially early in the year, to return a quarterback, right, where the other team don't. Now, you know what the bad news is for Michigan fans when it comes to this?
What's that?
It ain't going to matter in November, because by November, Ohio State's going to have their quarterback room figured out. Alabama, Georgia, whoever's in this college football playoff is going to have their quarterback room figured out. You only hope that, you know, Jim Harbaugh is the quarterback whisperer, quote unquote, as some people call him, that everyone hopes he is, and JJ can improve even throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean, he made that throw on the sideline that was caught, and Jack Miller, you know Jack Miller, he was standing right next to me. He's working the pregame and postgame for the Wolverines radio network from Learfield. He looked back at me, and his eyes said it all. I mean, the window that JJ threw that thing through, it's like there's no way. Like that's
talking about that corner route.
Yeah, the one that
between three guys.
Yep, yeah, right on their sideline. I mean, that was diagonally across the field from us, and we were like, "Whoa!" Like,
you know
wow.
What the most impressive part is, we knew he had that arm talent, and that was always apparent, right? But now he's actually reading the cover 2 versus the cover 3 versus the man coverage, right? You can see him calculating. You can see him before the snap looking at these disguised coverages, and where last year and the year before, they were fooling him. 2 years ago, they wouldn't really let him throw like that unless it was just a quick play action where they knew what they were getting. They were just running him. Last year, you really were holding your breath when a team came out in zone coverage, right? Because they tried to disguise it. You know, so this year I think he's making his progressions better. You can tell, and what do I know? I'm not a football coach, but I watch the games. I can tell he's going through a progression. I can tell he's dropping it in that window of his zone, as opposed to thinking it was man-to-man, and that cornerback who was dropping in cover 2 goes back and picks it off. You know what I mean? Like, I can see it live or on air. You can see it live. I can see it on the air.
Yeah, and the other thing is his pocket presence, right? He's not running nearly as much to run out of panic, but he is, you know, stepping up, moving around in the pocket, and still keeping his eyes down the field and moving the football with his arm, which I think is most important, because he took a shot in that UNLV game. That wasn't a targeting, which is, I mean, whatever. They don't call holdings or false starts on right tackles in the pro game. They don't call targeting against Michigan from defensive players. Like, just a guy launched himself like a Scud missile right at his head. Now, he popped right up and talked about how he likes contact. I think that's a little crazy for this time of year. Why don't you just take it easy and slide? You could do that, too. He's the coach, Kyle Barlow. He is a world championship caliber radio guest. Coach Barlow is always my friend. Appreciate the time.
See
ya. It's just so abrupt. By the way, dating back to 2021, Cade McNamara's best season as a Michigan Wolverine, he had one performance with more than 275 yards. One. And it was the game at Michigan State. That was a loss, in which he threw for 383 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. So, that's what you got. You're not used to the defense scoring. We're not used to a quarterback being able to throw the ball. How about that? You like that? Kirk Cousins, you like that? Back with more X's and Bros, Hour 3 next. Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Matt Golden. Now, he's the CEO and GM at the Tullymore Golf Resort. They're in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids. And fall golf is here, and they have some huge deals you can take advantage of on stay-and-play packages, tee times, and more. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymore.golf.com. Also, if you want to book a Christmas party for the holidays, you want to squeeze in a business meeting with some golf and great food and beverages, Matt Golden and his team can take care of you right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're also booking big groups who want stay-and-play packages, or maybe you just want to look ahead to the perfect weekend in 2024. Remember, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. Book your stay-and-play package or get more info now at tullymoregolf.com.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
Friday, October 27th, TVs and Practical Jokers are up to their usual tricks.
If you're not here, you are missing out.
It's the Tenderloins at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Sal, James, and Brian for 2 shows and twice the laughs. 7 and 10 p.m. Tickets start at $59. On sale now at the box office and etix.com. Don't miss the Drive Tour with the Tenderloins, October 27th. Party hard, laugh louder. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Merck Perks from Mercantile Bank is here. Merck Perks checking has all you need to plan your busy lifestyle. Travel services for hotels, airfare, and cruises, cash back rewards, and even savings on prescriptions, eyewear, and dental work. Merck Perks also includes all the traditional benefits you love, like online and mobile banking, and fee-free access to almost 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merck is here. Learn more at mymerckperks.com, member FDIC.
No one cares what you've been through. No one cares about your hopes, your dreams, your desire to make a difference in this world. Guess what? That isn't true. Law enforcement cares. That's why people join the force. Maybe they came from a world where those things are true. Maybe they didn't. But here's something they have in common. They do care. Maybe you should consider being around people who truly care about you. Visit MichiganPoliceChiefs.org and start the conversation.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny to Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Sparty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Ben Glaze, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. XBMornings at gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox, and you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ben Glaze is at TheBenGlaze. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Let's get to the, we got a couple of text messages. Free McNamara. Free him from what? Free him from what? Best season in Michigan, 136 yards, 44 yards, 191, 163, 197, 255, 129, 383, 168, 217, 259, 159, 169, 106. 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. McNamara won here the same amount JJ did. Okay. Imagine if Brock Purdy didn't play for a friend and played for Iowa instead. Then we would be praising the team around him, not his actual average play and a top running back. Wow. Actual average play from Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. Did he have 12? No, not 12 straight. I don't know how he started. Average play, 19 of 29, 220, 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries, $152 and a score. Nothing like having a good, balanced offense. Brandon Ayuk, fabulous. 8 catches, 129, 2 touchdowns. San Francisco, lucky that they drafted Brock Purdy to save everyone's job after that disaster of going to get Trey Lance. Had to get him. Top five. Somebody check on Cousin Tony. Will Ice Cream Man call in again? Cousin Tony is unwell, I'm sure. I can only imagine what took place for our resident Buffalo Bills fan, Cousin Tony, on this program. They did not circle the wagons on that punt coverage. I can tell you that much. Dave in Hudsonville, haven't heard from him in a while. Don't know where Dave in Hudsonville is at. I don't know if he's mad at me or if he's in hiding. I'm not really sure. USDA Scott is on the line, wants to talk MSU and Rodgers. Good morning, Scott. How are you, my friend? Hello.
Hey, am I on?
You're on.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
First of all,
hey, as for horses.
I can't. Good. I take a.
Well, you were on, and then your phone cut
all the time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, your phone's a little sketch, though. Are you in the backwoods somewhere? Yep, Ben, you just got to drop that one, my friend. Just got to let that one go. Phone reception is a real son of a gun. All right, what else is going on in the world of sports? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories in the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Monday Night Football, bad news bears. For the New York Football Jets, Jets. On the fourth snap of the season, Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffered what is feared to be a significant Achilles tendon injury. A crushing blow. Written by ESPN to the future Hall of Famer in New York's Super Bowl aspirations. First question I got this morning. Do the Jets try to make a trade for a quarterback, or do they just try to ride it out with Zach Wilson? Ugh. Good luck. Good luck. Torn Achilles would be season-ending. Rodgers is 39. Severe injury could also raise questions about maybe that potentially being the last game of his professional football career. Boy, what a tough way to go out. The Bills lost purely because Josh Allen was terrible last night. Just atrocious. Not really anything else I could say. 3 picks and a lost fumble. Fumbled another one but recovered it. What an absolute disaster. That led to a game-time field goal off the bar, off the upright and in, and then a punt return for the game-winning touchdown. And I'm going to have to listen to people today tell me about the Jets quarterback situation. You only got to overtime because of the pipe. And then you have to run it back in OT to win it. That's incredible. Talk about great play. But disparage another quarterback that was absolutely lights out against the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. Okay. I get it. That's fine. I don't care that Brock Purdy played at Iowa State. I don't care about that at all. I like Mr. Irrelevant. That's what I like. Reminds me of a young guy that nobody had a lot of faith of many moons ago, who was drafted way late in the 6th round and led his team to an unprecedented 7 Super Bowl championships. Wow. And 10 appearances, I believe. I think that's the number. Is it 7 and 10? Double check me on the greatness of Tom Brady and get back to me. The Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones has agreed to a new 1-year contract. Put an asterisk next to that. Steelers defensive lineman Cam Hayward could miss several weeks. This is bad news. Suffered a groin injury in the first half of the season opener. And that loss against the 49ers, boy, the Niners defense looks scary. According to sources, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, a.k.a. the varsity team, is interested in the 2024 Paris Olympics. I mean, why not go to Paris? Think about it like this. You guys are all old. Well, not all of you. Jason Tatum's not old. Devin Booker's not old. But it's the Olympics. You get to play for a gold medal. Okay. But you get to take your family to Paris. Not like you can't go to Paris anyways because everybody's making $100 million and it's just ridiculous. But, I mean, might as well enjoy the freedom of movement and the freedom of travel while we have it still. Because things aren't trending necessarily in the right direction. This whole, like, you only get to fly once every 3 years plan, I don't like that at all. I don't like that very much. I'm not a big fan of that. Rockets' Kevin Porter Jr. has been charged with assault and strangulation. The incident took place with a 26-year-old woman, his girlfriend, in New York. Monday morning in New York City. 911 was called. Police responded at 6:45 in the morning. Imagine, now they could have been out for Sunday Funday, but imagine a Monday morning. How bad was your Monday? At 6:45, you people are engaged in domestic violence. Kevin Porter Jr., what are you doing? That's all right, though. Professional athlete. He'll get a pass. NBA is likely to pass tougher rules on resting stars. The league is looking at giving authority for greater oversight over discipline for missed games and the ability to fine teams over $1 million for each instance of violating the resting rules. You just got to find a way to basically make it non-guaranteed contracts that are incentivized. That's the only way to do it because all they're going to do is get paid, cash their checks, and sit out. Why would I want to work more when I can work less and get paid more? Doesn't make any sense. So good for them. And Julio Rodriguez joins the 30-30 club. Congratulations to him. He is only the fourth player at the age of 22 or younger to be able to do it. He follows Atlanta's Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Angels' Mike Trout, along with A-Rod, to be able to do it. 30 homers to go with 36 stolen bases. We'll step aside. Back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
In the den. Hey, sports fans, here's a hanging curveball that you can knock out of the ballpark. This is Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball, inviting you to step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sports book where you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today. Eagle Casino and Sports, made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play.
The season is winding down. You can feel it, but you have to be encouraged that the Tigers aren't showing it. The team has matched last year's win total already. It has won the season series from every team in the division for the first time since 2011 and have some promising young talent now and on the come. That said, it's not good enough. This franchise, and more importantly, this fan base, deserve more. Today, the Tigers welcome a team they should emulate. The Reds are in town, sitting just 1.5 back of the final wild card spot in the National League. It's a Cincinnati team that last year carried just 62 wins across the finish line, but come into this series with 74 knockouts. They are young, exciting, fast, and entertaining. Detroit hopes to follow suit in 2024.
Elevate your night out at the legendary Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, now open at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Start with the finest cuts of USDA prime beef. Pair that with handcrafted cocktails, signature sides, and Ruth's legendary hospitality, and you've got yourself one incredible night. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse has arrived. Make a reservation at ruthschris.com for your incredible night at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined.
Join Van Andel Institute Purple Community for the Be Brave 5K Walk and Run in Caledonia on October 7th at 8 a.m. You can participate in a day of fun and exercise, all while supporting breast cancer research at Van Andel Institute. Register at vai.org.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. We've got Justin Rose coming up. He's got a brand new podcast with Michael Spath on Michigan and Michigan State and the rivalry. So excited to hear about that and get his take on the Mel Tucker saga, which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty fun. Can you say TB12, welcome Tom Brady to the JETS Jets. That comes from Jaime on YouTube. Good morning, James. How are you? Let's get to Freddie, who is on hold, would like to talk Michigan. Well, that's interesting. Good morning, Freddie. How are you?
Michael Spath. Hard hitting. First of all, before I get into a couple of things, is Ryan and Superfly going to get a mic yet?
Your ovens work right now, Freddie?
The ovens are working, buddy. My ovens are always working. My ovens are always hot, baby.
Yeah,
always hot.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben, shout out to Ben. He came back on the line. He said to me, "Friday, you got a minute and a half." How professional is that? I like that. That was. I'm talking about professional service.
Wow.
Dave from Hudsonville, listen, can you call in? You know, when you called Anthony, you know, your facts are always right. You guys just call in. We miss your call. Anthony wants to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Bill from Knoxville, can you call in? Let us know about Ryan Tannehill. How's he doing? He stinks. Ryan Tannehill. Yeah. Yeah. So, Bill, we miss you. Now, Anthony, listen. Did I hear you? First of all, I heard two things. Because Brock Purdy was picked in the 6th round or 7th round, Mr. Rivella, he's going to be Tom Brady. Did I understand that right?
No, that's why I like him, is because he was picked as Mr. Irrelevant, which is very comparable to a young man who was drafted in the 6th round who went on to win 7 Super Bowl championships. I like that. I like the fact that nobody believed in him, and yet here he is in all his glory.
Michigan fans didn't even believe in Tom Brady. They started the other kid from Brighton over him. Now, did I hear you disparage McNamara's numbers while he was here? His throwing numbers, 198, 92.
I went game for game. I went through every single game during the 2021 season.
But he won the games. They took you to a Big Ten championship. He won your first Big Ten championship in I don't know if that was the first ever because of the rules or since 97. He won. You're the first before J.J. McCarthy. He won the first for Michigan. So it doesn't matter if he threw for 2 yards. He won the same amount of games that J.J. McCarthy won. Isn't that true?
They both have one Big Ten championship to their claim. That is correct.
Exactly. But McNamara brought the first one, and then they decided to go with the better quarterback. So I don't think we can disparage his numbers because he took a little shot at Michigan. I mean, a lot of Michigan people leave and take shots at Michigan. Yeah, your own head coach when he was at Stanford took a shot at Michigan. So it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
By the way, just to be factually correct here, prior to 2021, I know it's tough to be factually correct here. Big Ten championships in 2004, 2003, 2098, and 97. So just 5 under Lloyd Carr there. So you know.
Well, I did say first Big Ten championship because I know all this stuff in college football changes. You know,
under the new format, yes,
Bowl,
correct.
Yeah. So I was factually correct. I mean, I was kind of correcting myself before I corrected myself. So I just wanted, But that's all I wanted to say. We can't disparage McNamara because he took a shot at Michigan. A lot of Michigan people, when they leave here, take shots at Michigan. But he brought you a Big Ten championship game and a win. I think that should be praised.
You know,
as when he left.
And you listen to the show enough to know how I felt when Cade McNamara went. Yeah, I love you too. And you know exactly how I said I feel about Cade McNamara and Eric All. That the program wouldn't be where it's at today if Eric All doesn't catch that pass and if Cade McNamara doesn't lead them out of the doom and gloom. But don't leave here because you got outplayed by a better player and lost your job and go running your mouth and flapping your jaws about, oh, I didn't know they could score. Shut up. Shut up.
I don't think he got. Well, here's my opinion. I don't think he got outplayed. I will tell you, JJ's the better quarterback. There's no doubt about it. I don't think he got outplayed. I think JJ was forced in because he's the 5-star, and eventually he's gonna be the face that could probably bring in more recruits. He's the sexier pick.
When do you think that they decide when somebody wins a quarterback job?
Anthony, I'm not going to go back and forth. And I'm not there at the practice. You know, fans don't see anything. I'm telling you, J.J. McCarthy was the 5-star recruit, and if you don't play the guy, he might transfer, especially with the way the transfer portal is nowadays. If they would have started McNamara, J.J. would have left. He wouldn't have sat here another year. There's no way he would have sat. He was a 5-star recruit. So I get it. But they made the right choice anyways because he is the better quarterback. I get it. But I don't think he was outplayed. Being outplayed and being better are two different things. So that's just my opinion. And yesterday the Jets won the game. That's all that matters is the Jets won the game yesterday. and anyone that thinks that because Aaron Rodgers is there, they were going to win. They were going to win it all. No, I said to you, the Green Bay was going to have more wins than the Jets this year. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers would have been good for them, but they gave up way too. We talked about this. We both agreed. They gave up way too much to get him and put all their eggs in one basket. Normally when that happens in sports, when it happens in life, when you put all your eggs in one basket, it generally doesn't work out. And they went about it the wrong way. I said it yesterday. They should have invested in that. Offensive line is terrible, beyond terrible. And they have a great defense, but the offensive line is terrible. So we'll see what happens. So that's kind of my thing. Have a good day.
All right. Appreciate
Dave,
you.
Call in.
We got an APB out for Dave, all points bulletin. Just looking for a couple of comparable opponents here because, JJ with 278 passing last game or whatever it was against UNLV and 280 in game one against ECU and, 5 touchdowns and no picks. Let's go back. 2021. Try to find a couple comparable opponents. What do you think, Western Michigan and Northern Illinois? I think those are comparable. I mean, they had Washington in there too, but the Washington game, he was 7 of 15 for 44 yards. So, but they just ran the football at Washington for 4 quarters. Western Michigan, he was 9 of 11 for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Northern Illinois that year, he was 8 of 11 for 191 and a touchdown. Lost the job. It is what it is. Here's a good thing for all of us at all of our ages to remember. There are going to be times where we will be separated from an employer, and it could be a myriad of reasons. You may quit, you may be fired, you may leave for another job, whatever the case may be. And when that happens, it's important to give yourself what I like to refer to as the 24-hour rule, right? That's how you'd address parents, address coaches with the 24-hour rule. Give it 24 hours, sleep on it. Give everything 24 hours before you react. And don't get emotional, right? Be a rational human. Take your emotion out of it, and you're usually going to come to a solid conclusion. But the one thing you don't want to do, no matter what your walk of life is, no matter how bad things were, is run around flapping your jaws, disparaging your former employer. I've been fired before. I had to work with some miserable people. That's a fact. People tell me about their experience with them. They said it was great. I leave it at that. That's your experience. Mine was different. So be it. Step aside. We'll come back. Justin Rose talking Mel Tucker next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
We played for the thrill, that rush you feel with the game on the line. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver. Now, with Eagle Casino and Sports, the new sportsbook app from Soaring Eagle, anywhere I'm at, I'm still in the game.
Sign up now and get up to $1,000. That's right, up to $1,000 for a risk-free bet on your next favorite underdog, parlay, or prop.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Miss any of today's show? Find our podcast and listen on demand on Google, Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcast. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino, here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Ryan Elke, Ben Glaze, Anthony Bellino, all joining us now. A longtime friend of this program right here. He is a Spartan alum, and we need to air some things out. His name, Justin Rose. Find him on Twitter at JRoseDET. Justin, my friend, good morning to you. How are you? How's life? How are things, partner?
Everything is wonderful, fantastic, except if your name is Mel Tucker.
Yeah, you know what? This is very true. And for all of those wondering what Mr. Rose might be up to, you, Justin, have a brand new podcast that's out. I think you're only a couple releases deep in this. Tell us a little bit about it, how it got started, where you're at, where people can find it, because it is all Michigan State based.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Michael Spath and I, Michael Spath used to work at WTKA Radio in Ann Arbor for some time. I, of course, was the Detroit media for 7 years before I pulled the plug on my own career as far as TV goes. We had often got together and talked about this Michigan rivalry and how much we enjoyed it, but we also hated the fact that it's toxic, and it's still very toxic, and how fans talk to one another where we're not fans of it. So we said, why don't we have, I think the way I put it was, why don't we bring a mature discussion to the kids' table? So when it comes to Michigan State, all things football and basketball, you can check us out on any streaming platform you like, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all of that stuff. It's actually a great name. And Anthony, you haven't even heard of the name yet, so I'm excited to let you know that it's called I Love You, But You're an Idiot, a Michigan State podcast.
I love you, but you're an idiot. I often refer to our rivalry here between Michigan and Michigan State as like dysfunctional relatives. That was brought to the table, I think, last year during Hate Week, and I thought that it was very good because we all have those relatives that we do love, but at the same time, really just bother the hell out of us. There's really not a whole lot else to kind of say, but everybody knows because everybody's family's got them, right? We all got them. So it makes total sense that we would just find each other as the dysfunctional
I love
relative.
You, but you're an idiot.
Well, let's get right into it.
Rivalry to a T, because we talk about how much, like, a Spartan or Wolverine, whatever side of the fence you're on, and you do love them. They're your friend, they're your uncle, they're your neighbor, they're whoever, but you also think they're idiots because they root for that team. And it's kind of a fun way of saying, you know what, I think we can all get along. At the end of the day, we are Michiganders, we are friends, we are neighbors, we're colleagues. It's supposed to be a fun rivalry, even though it gets a little icky at times. But at the same time, we all still have the same love for one another, and we'll hopefully give each other's shirts off our backs in dire need and stuff. So we just kind of thought it would be fun to do that. And he has a really great perspective on all things Michigan. I feel like I have a pretty good perspective on all things Michigan State. So it's a fun podcast. If you guys want to give it out, it's available to you. I love you, but you're an idiot.
Give it a thumbs up, give it 5 stars, and leave a comment for Mr. Rose here. Let's dive into this debacle that was released late Saturday night in the wee hours of Sunday morning. I'm sure your phone, much like mine, had a lot of notifications on it. You had no idea what happened, and it was kind of like, oh, no, what happened? And then you opened it up, and then you realize it wasn't anything personal to your own life, but it was that the head football coach, Mel Tucker, had a story that was released into the USA Today from someone that he was using as a vendor at Michigan State to help educate his young men on sexual assault and harassment and violence towards women and all of those things. And now his name is in the report as well. What was your first sort of reaction to what took place?
Well, it's funny. I was actually in Denver this past weekend. I officiated my first wedding. I think I might have found a new calling in life because that was awesome. But I woke up to get ready to go to the airport, and all of this is all over Twitter. And I'm like, wait a second. I was up until late, anything about it, and I watched the game on Saturday and all of this stuff. And I'm trying to figure out, this has to be a joke. Like, I thought it was a joke at first, like someone who was trying to pull a fast one on us. And then I kept looking, and I kept seeing what was going on, and I was like, oh my God. My first reaction was, I got to wait to see what's going on with all of this, because, it's too common in our day and age where
people just jump to conclusions like right away, and everybody is guilty without like the whole thing. And then you start to read a little bit more, and then you start to go, okay, well, he admitted to these things. And then you can start formulating more of an opinion. My first reaction after I kind of digested it for an hour and a half, kept on looking at other things, was, I just don't believe that this is the type of person that can lead men, young men. And my program, Michigan State University, they cannot, no program should allow this type of behavior. And programs other than Michigan or Michigan State in the past have got rid of people that have not been able to hold the high standards that we want our leaders to have. And Mel Tucker, whether he didn't do anything illegal, he didn't, morally didn't sit well with a lot of people. It doesn't sit well with me. And my first reaction was, that's his prerogative to chase those types of things, but not as the head coach of my football program.
That's kind of what I tried to address, and it's always very difficult to do so with topics like this. And I try to always be mindful and remind my listeners that when we're talking about topics like this, you never know what you're going to trigger from somebody's past that might bring up something traumatizing that they might have gone through. And so it's always such a delicate situation. And when you're dealing with what Mel Tucker is admittedly did, I can't say alleged because he did admit to it, according to the USA Today, although it is not technically, I don't know, is it? I can't really say it's not technically a crime because I'm not a lawyer and I don't want to go down that path. But it is that sort of that morality clause that exists here for universities. And what I wanted to get to with this is, does this kind of feel like a way out to get out from underneath that like massive contract that's looming over, that's all anybody wants to talk about? The results haven't been out there on the football field, and it's like, dude, you did the one thing that's giving everyone the just cause for your termination. Like, you basically, for lack of a better way to put it, you jumped off the cliff yourself.
Well, I'm not willing to go tinfoil hat conspiracy theory guy yet. Did you see that late last night or later in the evening, Mel Tucker did issue a response? Oh. And that response basically was put out by his lawyer that he basically, to sum it up, I don't have it in front of me, I'm not reading it verbatim, but to sum it up, he's basically saying that this upcoming hearing on October 5th and 6th is a sham, and he doesn't feel like he's going to be able to completely get ahead of this, and he won't be able to put his side of the story out there. Like, he doesn't get to present an opening comment or a closing comment. He doesn't get to present any evidence that shows that it was a adult relationship between two consenting adults. And it didn't seem like he was fighting for a job, to say, but it looked like I'm getting ousted, and it might have something to do with my race or gender, or it was very, very interesting. If you haven't seen it, give it a look for yourself, because look, there are no real winners in these types of situations, and I think that's always like what people want to talk about is like, well, what's going to happen to Michigan State? What's going to happen to Mel Tucker? What's going to happen to Brenda? What's going to happen to this and that? Like, everyone wants like solutions and answers when a lot of times like everybody loses. Like, this is super unfortunate. And as a Michigan State alum, I'm so tired of having to have these conversations about how something within our program or at our university just didn't go the right way. And unfortunately, this is just another instance where we, Michigan State fans, get the short end of the stick, and we have to, once again, band together and know that this isn't something that anybody as a whole did across the board. This was one man being a complete selfish person. And that's where I am just hanging my hat on this, is Mel Tucker completely whiffed on his responsibility to the university, to the alumni, to his players, and to the future of the football program because of selfish actions.
Justin, I brought this up yesterday as well because I felt bad for guys like Ryan Elke in the studio, right? And he and his father being season ticket holders, loving that university. I felt bad thinking back to the Central Michigan opener where Tom Izzo joins a national broadcast for basically the entire third quarter And it feels like, once again, the legitimate friends in green and white get blindsided by something completely out of their control, and then they're basically left there to wonder and then to have to answer their friends, their coworkers, their rivals about things that don't pertain to the wins and losses, which is all we really want to argue about anyways, and all this other stuff. I mean, that's who I feel bad for in this whole debacle, outside of the alleged victim, is the fact that you have all these people that just want to have. Is it too much to ask for a clean program in 2023, Justin?
It's not too much to ask. It's just getting there, because if it's not one thing, it's another. And look at college athletics across the board. Like, there are no squeaky clean programs. I mean, maybe you want to say like Stanford. And at times you used to say, well, Northwestern was a pretty squeaky. Like, it's just this. I think it's just really, really, really challenging to literally get almost 1,000 people on the same page for a football program. I mean, you got trainers, you've got, people in the back trying to help. You've got, the social media teams, you've got the players, It is so hard to get everybody on the same page. And that's why you just look at some programs and you go, wow, how can they sustain success without having a ton of things going against them? And maybe some of them are legitimate and maybe some of them are not. I mean, again, the truth always finds its way out. And I honestly look at Mel Tucker and I think, you know what? You kind of showed us who you are, so we probably should believe you. This is something where you are, and look, personal lives are personal lives. And I'm not here to say what he did was necessarily like, again, it wasn't illegal. He didn't break any laws. But at the same time, if you're going into recruits' houses and saying to them, hey, this is we're going to turn you into a man and we're going to show you what it's like to be a leader. And then you're out here doing this stuff while you're married, mind you. And in his apology letter or whatever you want to call it from last night, he said him and his wife had been estranged for some time. You're still married, bro. Get a divorce. Then you can do whatever you want. But you can't do it on the company dime. You can't do it where with somebody who is in the situation that Brenda Tracy was in her career and in her life. I mean, he just made a collection of poor decisions, and that led to his ousting or eventual ousting.
Justin, going into this 2023 season, if you can, it's kind of a tough question to ask after the fact. What was your level of confidence in Mel Tucker being able to restore Michigan State football to a nationally prominent program?
It's a great question. And it's going to sound, I think a lot of people are going to be like validated in their feelings. I don't ever necessarily know if I was all in per se. I was at the point where I started to see an uptick in recruiting. I did start to see some things, start to go. And I also realized what a bad hand he was dealt to start with, coming in with D'Antonio leaving the way he did and at the time that he did. COVID slamming the door shut on any real chance for him to have a good recruiting class to start things with. Then they have the nice season with Kenneth Walker. So obviously he was able to identify talent coming out of the portal. And I still think that they've had some guys that are going to contribute this year that are talented out of the portal. So I was in this wait and see approach, but I needed to see as far as like a head coach, like getting the right coordinators. And I still, now those guys have to look at this as an opportunity because they're coaching for their jobs. Like, this staff could somewhat stay intact potentially. I don't think it will. I think they will go outside of this tree to restart when it's all said and done. But at the same time, you got a guy like Harlan Barnett. He's a Michigan State guy through and through. Could he right the ship here a little bit with the help and guidance of Mark D'Antonio as an associate? Could he get these coordinators to continue to get these guys going in the same page? I mean, this excuse me, this is a really, really unfortunate situation. But I like to look at things from, this is one guy, right? This isn't an institutional problem like we've seen before, unfortunately. This is one guy's error of judgment, and one guy is not bigger than the program. So I'm excited to see people rally around this football team, these student athletes, this coaching staff that didn't ask for this. Nobody asked for this, right? How is everybody just going to – they can't just quit, nor should they. They should use this as a galvanizing thing to light a fire behind them and say, you know what, not only do we have an opportunity to do something special this season, we got something right in front of us. This next game against an 8th-ranked team that has a lot of aspirations, you got a little revenge on your mind because they whooped you pretty good last year. Go out there, circle the wagons, and you have an opportunity to show that Michigan State football is not dead. Mel Tucker is the one that's out of here, not the rest. And that's what I would say if I was in that room.
That's a really good point you bring up there, kind of using this as a rally moment here. Now, last one here for you. Would you like to see them, you mentioned Coach Harlan there. Would you like to see them go and stay in-house and try to get a Michigan State alum that can really help identify what Michigan State football is? Or would you like to see them go, expand that search and try to go outside and maybe start fresh again?
I don't today. I can't really answer that question because I need to first see this through. Mm-hmm. There will be a time when we can talk about coaching and who they should go after and who's available and who's interested and who's not interested. Obviously everyone's talking about how they could just, hey, let's already start looking for a head coach. It's like, you know what? We're in week 2 of this season and they're 2-0 and they've got an offense that can move the football. They got a defense that can stop the football. Mel Tucker is one person. And most of as most people understand, these recruits, they're recruited by their positional coaches. So most of these positional coaches are still there, all of them, in fact, because nobody's gone but Mel. So they still have something to play for. And I think it's a disservice to start looking at 2024 and beyond when these kids still have 10 games to play. They haven't even cracked, the Big Ten schedule yet. And I think that in due time, we'll have plenty of opportunities to talk about who should be leading this program moving forward. But at this particular time, I'm just trying to rally behind these kids because they didn't choose this. This isn't something that they wanted to have happen to them in the 3rd week of the season. For love of God, these kids deserve so much more. It takes so much effort to be a Division I athlete, and it should not be marred by this one coaching blunder and one human blunder that they don't get a right opportunity to make this season special. So that's my cry is let's support these kids. Let's support these coaches. Be there, be loud, and stick up for Michigan State, the institution, because it needs you right now.
Well said there from Justin Rose. Find him on Twitter at JRoseDET. I love you, but you're an idiot is available wherever you may get your podcast. Justin, is always my friend. I appreciate the time you spent with us. Thank you as always, partner. We'll touch base soon, my friend.
Anytime, my friend. Have a good one.
DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered for another week of epic football action. New customers can bet $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE only on DraftKings. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. For Ben Glaze and Ryan Elke, I am Anthony Bellino. Thank you for joining us and making us a part of your day. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Matt Golden. Now, he's the CEO and GM at the Tullymore Golf Resort. They're in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids. And fall golf is here, and they have some huge deals you can take advantage of on stay-and-play packages, tee times, and more. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymore.golf.com. Also, if you want to book a Christmas party for the holidays, you want to squeeze in a business meeting with some golf and great food and beverages, Matt Golden and his team can take care of you right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're also booking big groups who want stay-and-play packages, or maybe you just want to look ahead to the perfect weekend in 2024. Remember, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. Book your stay-and-play package or get more info now at tullymoregolf.com.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Go bowling for bucks to win premium play prizes that are right up your alley. Drawings are every Friday in September from 7 to 11 p.m. And one lucky winner every hour strikes up to $3,000 premium play. roll the ball, and hit your lucky strike with Bowling for Bucks. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Over to Tracy for breaking news.
We have super good news, Dave. The super sale is back at Meijer Friday and Saturday only. Get the biggest savings on Meijer sliced bacon, fresh Meijer chicken tenderloins, select apples, Sargento cheese, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable, and Br0's paper towels. Get Meijer super sale deals in-store or online while supplies last.
Now that is super.
Shop this Friday and Saturday only during the Meijer Super Sale. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Merck Perks from Mercantile Bank is here. Merck Perks checking has all you need to plan your busy lifestyle. Travel services for hotels, airfare, and cruises, cash back rewards, and even savings on prescriptions, eyewear, and dental work. Merck Perks also includes all the traditional benefits you love, like online and mobile banking, and fee-free access to almost 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merck is here. Learn more at mymerckperks.com, member FDIC.